Hello everyone, welcome to the Group 9 presentation video. On this occasion, we will discuss the cultural scale. There is direct versus indirect and individual versus group. Before entering the discussion, introduce our group members. With me, Hazah Agung Izni, Waode Julistina Toresa, and Muhammad Farhan Al-Fauzan. Okay, without wasting any time, let's go straight to the first cultural scale, direct versus indirect. This culture scale relates to the way people communicate and interact with one another in face-to-face, verbal, and non-verbal communication. You are certainly already aware that some people within your own culture communicate more directly than others. In many Asian cultures, people recognize and practice the concepts of face and harmony in ways Westerners do not. Being direct and getting all the issues out on the table can be a good thing, according to the Western view. But the Asian approach of setting some conflicts aside for the sake of maintaining a harmonious work environment or respectful communication is equally legitimate.
Direct. To be very direct and get all the pros and cons out on the table is a Western and most noticeably American tendency. In America, as children, we are taught to speak up in class, to look people in the eye, to show we are honest, and to present our views clearly. We are taught to be strong and to disagree verbally and non-verbally when we need to. For example, when we ask for something, if an American thinks yes, he will say yes. If an American cannot or won't do something, he will likely say no. Indirect. Two people in many non-Western cultures, like Asians, usually approach problems or difficulties in a more subtle, indirect way. Direct eye contact is not a good thing, but rather conveys a threat or challenge. It is more important to maintain a sense of harmony than to deal directly with issues, especially issues where there may be conflict. An Asian who can do something you request may simply not respond, or she may say, "It's difficult," or even, "Yes," or "No problem," when what they probably meant was, "No way, big problem," but they simply would not have been comfortable being direct. By failing to say no when they think otherwise, rather they may have felt it was best to be indirect in order to keep things harmonious.
Individual versus group. This culture scale deals essentially with the degree of importance that people give to being part of a group, friendship, or work-related. People in various societies place more or less importance on which groups they belong to and how strong their attachment is to those groups. This idea is sometimes referred to as inner groups versus out groups. Okay, let me tell you one by one. Individual. People from individualistic cultures usually identify less strongly with work, friendship, or even family groups. They tend to be approachable and outgoing. They tend to move easily in and out of social groups, consider themselves as quite friendly, and let new people easily into their group. Next, group. People from group-oriented cultures need more time to develop close affiliations and accept someone into their group. But when someone is part of a group, he or she will tend to have lifelong relationships that will continue to develop over months and years.
Direct versus indirect. Below is a good bullet point summary that can make up the second culture scale. A direct style means people prefer to be more direct in speaking and be less concerned on how something is said, openly confront issues or difficulties, communicate concern straightforwardly, engage in conflict when necessary, and say things clearly, not leaving much open to interpretation. An indirect style means people prefer to focus not just on what is said but on how it's said, discreetly, avoid difficult or contentious issues, express concern tactfully, avoid conflict if at all possible, count on the listener or interpret meaning.
Individual versus group. Below is quick balance point summary that can make up this culture scale. An individual style means people prefer to take individual initiative, use personal guidelines in personal situations, focus on themselves, judge people based on individual traits, make decisions individually, put individual before the team, and the last is move in and out of group as needed or desired. Whereas a group style means people prefer to act cooperatively and establish group goals, standardize guidelines, make loyalty to friends a high priority, determine their identity through group affiliation, make decisions as a group, put the team or group before the individual, and keep out membership for life.
Alright, that's the presentation of our group about the direct versus indirect and individual versus group cultural skill. I hope you find it useful, and if there is something is not clear, feel free to ask. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.